Hey. This is Daniel Levy, the Good Mood Coach. Today, here we're on the Moonotherapy channel. Today is the 17th day of the Hebrew month of Tammuz. And I want to share some ideas. Really, we'll call this a mini class. I haven't made one in a while, so I have glasses. Okay. So I promised 2 clients in our clinic today I would make these ideas. Thank you to both of you. You both contributed to remain nameless. Wonderful ideas. The class today, first of all, it should be a merit and a healing for the release of hostages and the release of also spiritual hostages around the world, everyone who's trapped in their own way, and also it should bring less and less baseless hate, resentment, and dislike to all humanity. Now, this class is going to be about various domains of baseless hatred. We start in the 3-week period here on the 17th of Tammuz, culminating in the 9th day of Av. And on the 9th day of Av is the low point spiritually of the whole year. And it's like the sun, I'm going to block the sun. That's when the sun's really blocked, when the shining of the divine light is at a low. And a lot of loss and negativity and the destructions of the Beis Hamikdash, both really were on that day. But this day, today, is the day of the breaking the luchos, breaking the tablets, when Moshe Rabbeinu came down Har Sinai, and I'm going to change that light for you. Let's just go like this. There you go. So he broke the tablets because he saw that everybody, the first set of tablets, because everybody was busy worshiping the golden calf. Not everybody, by the way. I should speak more carefully. Only the Erev Rav and also some of the people. Some of the Jewish people got drawn into the Erev Ravs. And who are the Erev Rav? They are the converts from Egypt that converted out of fear of seeing all the plagues and all the destruction of the country of Egypt. And Moses wanted them to come along. Moshe wanted to come along. God said, I don't know if that's such a good idea, but if you want to, let's do it. And they were the source of a lot of challenging moments in the desert experience. Now, this is a period of spiritual low. Rabbi Arush, the holy Rabbi Arush Shlita, he tells us amazing ideas. One of them is that we see that the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, and we're starting that period here because of baseless hatred. The first Beis Hamikdash, the first temple, we're taught by the rabbis, was destroyed by the 3 cardinal sins: adultery, idolatry, and the spilling of blood. But the second Beis Hamikdash, there weren't much sins, we're taught. They were very religious and holy people. But they had a lot of resentment, dislike, judgment, and hate for each other. And so God destroyed the temple. And he points out an amazing idea. We have 70 years, I believe it is, between the buildings of the 2 temples. So we have the first temples destroyed for 70 years because of the 3 hardcore sins. And the second temple is destroyed, and we're up to like 2,000 plus years because of hatred that has no sense. It's illogical and baseless. There's no reason for it. Factioning. I don't think that's a word, but okay. And we're taught also, we'll learn more, that any generation that did not rebuild the Beis Hamikdash, rebuild the Holy Temple, is as if they destroyed it. So we are continuing today to live in a society, in a world, with a lot of hate, dislike, judgment. They're bad, they're wrong, they're this, they're that, in every direction. We see the polarization in this country and in many places. And we've seen it growing in Israel and America, many, many places. Extremes that look badly at each other. Disunity of proportional sizes. This is exactly what the rabbi is teaching us, I believe. This is the continuation of the negative things that cause a all of us to be in exile on a spiritual and literal level. So Rabbi Arush points out to us that if the remedy for baseless hatred, you would think, and we're going to talk about this in this class, is to get rid of your negativity. That's a great idea, and that's beautiful, and we got it. And in fact, I want to point out now, and I'm going to emphasize a few times, that there's nothing to talk about. I brought the verse. It says over here in Vayikra 19:17. It's a verse in the Bible, in the Torah, in the book of Leviticus. I know the two of the people I'm making this for are not Hebrew speaking educated. You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall surely rebuke your fellow, but you shall not bear a sin on his account. You should not hate your brother in your heart. Okay, that's it, black and white. Hello. Hate is a sin. Hate's a sin. Well, what's in the category of hate? Hate includes a lot of things. It includes resentments I have for my friends. That's a low-level hate. It's a very, very small micro hate. Just like a micro love is to think he's so great. He's amazing. He's sweet. He's sweet. He's a nice guy. I like him. So like and appreciate is small kinds of love. And hate, microwave hate, microwave the hate, is dislike, judgment, negativity, arrogance, looking down on, superiority. All these things fit into a cluster of hate. And God is saying to us in the Bible, black and white, hate is against his will. That's it. So we know we have to get rid of it. But there's something even bigger that Rabbi Arush is pointing out. It's not just to get rid of the hate, but if we want to bring back spiritual goodness and unity to the world, we're going to need to bring the remedy for senseless hatred, which is senseless love. What does that mean? Well, baseless hatred is when I dislike someone for no reason. There's nothing to dislike him. The guy's Asian. I don't like Asian people or Latinas. Why? Because they're Latina. That's not a good reason. If a person came and took an axe or a sledgehammer and sledged your car a lot of times, that's a good reason. Nonetheless, the Bible tells us, the Torah tells us, we still have to stop hating that person. It's a big ask, and yet that's what we're being asked to do. And I'm far from it. I'm sharing these ideas to strengthen myself too. Now, so greater than that is that I like you for no reason. It would be that I wouldn't normally like such a person, but I choose to like them. I see the good in them, and that is going to bring me to help contribute to rebuilding this Beis Hamikdash, rebuilding the Holy Temple. Because baseless hate is remedied and reversed by baseless love. And so our challenge today, I challenge you, I challenge me, and you, and we, to start practicing in different ways baseless love, which I like to also explain as senseless caring about others. Right? Like we care about our children. Rabbi Arush put out a publication, Love Every Person as Your Own Child. In other words, if I, were to start to think that let me make it easier. Imagine that guy over there outside the Walmart parking lot. He is your friend Tony's son. You love Tony. You love his son. Okay. Now I'm beginning to love him. Did he do anything to earn that? No. But I'm giving him that. So beginning to do that and giving away when it would be normal to dislike you because you've been so mean to me. I choose to like you anyways. It would be normal to not want to be friends with you, to not want to look kindly upon you because of, and yet I choose to do it anyways. Senseless love, senseless caring, senseless. That is our opportunity. Now, that's part one. Part two. A client of mine pointed out an amazing thing because I asked him to give a little thought. He came back and said, Daniel, I realized it's so much easier to have senseless love to a stranger than it is to our own family, to our parents, to our spouses, to our children. Why is that? You would think that actually it'd be the opposite. I would have an easier time having senseless love to my own family, which in some ways we do. But what I realized talking to him that I want to share with you is that it's very much because I have these close relationships that most of us have issues with somebody in them, that is the reason why it's harder. Because the point number 2 is there's going to be a block in the relationship. It's going to come from my different kinds of negativity, negative issues and roadblocks that are in the relationship, blocking the path to authentically and naturally really be able to express this love that I can have in me if I express myself from my deeper essence, from my soul. Or even from my just heart, my brain. Because dislike and hate blocks empathy. That's really point number 2. Point number 1, if you want to keep track of this, is that the remedy to the unjustified hate of the world is unjustified love. Point number 2 is that hate blocks love. Issue, negativity. And I got to clear out that negativity first. Maybe. We'll talk about that. So it's much easier to be close. It's much easier to be close and give that extra level of love that makes no sense to somebody far away. It has no meaning to me. So now I can practice this beautiful meta, we call, right, and compassion sending. That's not necessarily easy, but like it's almost more doable, right? You know, if always tickles me to think about that Ram Dass quote, if you think you're enlightened, spend a week with your family. That, the real big people like Rabbi Arush and Shlita and all these other big tzaddikim, they are good with their families. Their mitos play out with their families, and that's the sign of their perfection. May we all be able to imitate them and get closer to the beautiful high level of spiritual expression. And I'm grateful to him and all his teachings, some of which I'm sharing today. So that's a very important point. So it brings us to the question of how do we implement this? Now, in order to implement this, we might have two different kinds of methods. One method will be for someone I don't know, and another method might have to be for someone I do know. So the question is this, like this. How are you going to do this? I want to do this. I hope you want to do this if you're still listening. And how are we going to offer this senseless love? Well, one way is to think of them as that is the child of the God of the Almighty. If this person's good enough for God, they're good enough for me. Try that one out. God created that person, that person, that person, that person. It's good enough for God, it's good enough for you. It says in the book of Deuteronomy, Banim atem lashem Elokeichem. You are children to the living God. We know that Avram Avinu, he was able to love everybody because he loved God so much that, if you like someone, you love their children. I made the joke earlier about Tony. Tony, if you love Tony so much. Tony, oh, what a guy. Oh, I love Tony. Tony's such an amazing guy, so I like Tony's children. What did they ever do? Nothing. They even stole my salt shaker. I still love Tony's children. Why? I love Tony. So one route would be to love God. The more I love God, the more I could love his children. I just have to do two things. Number one, work on loving God. Number two, realize that they're actually his children, his creations, and he actually loves them even if I don't. I once asked the clients, I haven't done it for a while, but pause, can you think of anyone that you think was a mistake to create, or even a whole group of people? And we could say to ourselves, well, by the way, God didn't. He created them. So we have an issue. God thinks they should be created. You don't. Probably we're on the side of the wrong side. Yeah. So how else are we going to do this? Another way is the Emunah route. Emunah is to realize that everything is from God. Everything. David HaMelech teaches us. It says in the Tehillim and the Psalms, I think it's number 19 or 23, I have to check. Gam ki elik begates al-mavis lo yira ra ki atayimadi. Even though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear evil because you are with me. Your rock and your rod and your staff, thy comfort me. So basically, your rod and your staff comforts me. Why a rod? We talked about earlier with one of my clients that a rod is like, it like takes the sheep. It makes them go on the right road. And the staff is something that supports me. David was on the level, David the king, that he could see that no matter what happened, God was supporting him. God was comforting him. God is looking out for him and loving me. So if we realize, like the Zohar teaches us, the holy Balei Emunah, the masters of Emunah, Rabbi Arish and many others, they teach us the metaphor from the Zohar that brings the example of a shepherd and a stick and a dog. Shepherd, stick, dog. Boom, boom, boom. Man hits dog with stick. Dog bites stick. Dog bites stick. Over and over again, dog attacks the stick. So like that's what the Zohar teaches us. That's how we are. Something happens in our life, and we bite the stick. We bite the person. We scream at them. We get mad at them. We resent them and don't say anything. We're biting the stick over and over and over again. So one route to work on all this is to, as Rabbi Arshlita points out, is to get faith, to get emunah, and bring emunah in our hearts. And we realize that no one can do anything to us on a deeper level without God's permission or God's orchestration, both, however you want. It's a discussion for a different time. But that is the truth. So why am I going to be mad at a person if God's the one who is using his rod right now? If I am, I'm being a dog. Doggone it. Doggone it. No. Guess the fast and the blood sugar's getting to my head here, my friends. So we have a few methods so far. We look at it. I love Tony, and so Tony, I like Tony's children. Number 2, everything's from God. So I could try that method. A way of, and by the way, all these are important. It's just what's going to work for you to internalize this, to help work on this. Another way is to see the good in a person. So let's keep track for you. Well, we can make a worksheet if you want. One is Tony's children. And maybe you take notes too. This is a power class. Tony's children, Emunah. Because I thought of these before, but now I'm thinking of another one. Emunah, that all is from God. Another one is to see the good. When I see the good in a person, I can see past their mishigas, their bad, funny layers. So that can help me also. Lastly, we can pray for it. That's a 4th method for now. We can pray for it. Now, what's interesting is that one of my last sessions with a very holy person, who's Pope, I think for sure listening to this, when I came to the conclusion that this is for the higher self, much easier for the higher self. You could say that we are a soul riding on a horse, and therefore we have the soul riding on a horse. The horse is, like in the metaphor, the lower self, and the soul is the higher self. And in this case, with the soul resonating with these methods, yeah, God created these people. Oh, beautiful. I love this guy. God created him. Okay, he's bothering me. You know what? I'm going to like him anyways. Oh, where did he come from? What is this and that? But the lower self, the horse is mad, man. You just hit me in the shins, and I am mad at you. In fact, you hit me in the shins a lot of times because you're not careful. You're not careful, and you're all the time giving me bloody knees. I'm mad at you. Very mad at you. That horse is mad at the other horse. It can be very, very hard. But luckily, the Torah, in my opinion, already thought of this for us. My take. This I'm adding. Because we have in the verse, Hochiach amitecha, right here, read it to you earlier. You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall surely rebuke your fellow. You shall not bear sin upon his account. Hebrew is, for those of the Hebrew speakers, Lo tisna et achicha b'levavecha, Hochiach tochiach amitecha, v'lo tisa alav chet. You should not hate your brother in your heart. Okay. The other half of the sentence says, surely you shall reproof your fellow, and you will not carry upon you a sin. There's 3 different important interpretations for this that Rabbi Balafia Shlita taught us. One is like this. The one that most people know first is that you don't hate your brother in your heart for the bad stuff he's doing. Instead, give him rebuke. He's doing a sin. Tell him he's doing a sin. And now you tell him, if you don't, you're going to be accomplice to the sin. A different way of reading the verse, which is equally important and valid, is don't hate your brother in your heart. Express yourself. Tell them what you're really feeling. And then you won't hate them. You get your resentments out, and you'll be free of the sin of holding in this resentment that's building up. So this is going to go back to now not a random stranger, but how we might have to deal with our friends and family. If I have a buildup of an issue, this is the therapy side, I might need to sit down to that person and say, look, I know you don't mean to, but you always interrupt me. And it's been frustrating me. I keep trying to express myself, and you're always interrupting me. And it makes me feel like you don't really value what I'm saying. I know you have ADD. And, but nonetheless, I just need you to know the impact that it has on me. I'm not mad at you, but it's really been upsetting me for a long time now. Okay, so I literally did what the verse said. I reproofed, I expressed to my friend what is on my mind, and now lo tisa, I'm not carrying the sin. So the Leviticus is also teaching us, God's offering us the mitzvah itself is the solution to avoid the avera. That the commandment is helping us live a healthier, better life, which is one of the most amazing things about the path of the Torah is Eitz Chaim hi lemakazikim ba. It's a path of life, a tree of life to those who grasp onto it. That when we listen to the Torah, we have a better life. When we listen to God's word, it's not a joke. So for the lower self, a very important method is to express oneself. But without being rude, without trying to hurt the person, just really getting in touch with what's really bothering you, what's really upsetting you, and mentioning it to them, telling them. And it might require a little skill or training if it's complex and built up and traumatic. It may not be so simple, but in a one-pointed issue, that can be the best way to actually not hate someone. That a wonderful way to not hate someone is to express what's bothering you, and then you clear out your heart from that negativity. So, in other words, if I want to work on getting to the level when I can love unjustifiably, there's no justice in this love. It's such an awesome, potent love. One of the biggest things in the way would be my negative resentments and other bad feelings built up. So for my lower self, I'm going to need to express myself. And for my higher self, I can probably use some of the other more faith-based methods. So this is an example we're applying a faith-based therapy method where we have therapy approaches that are tied into the Torah, the Bible, and also our faith building. So we have a fusion method here. We're going to express ourselves, and we're going to get clear of the negativity. Now that I'm clear of the negativity, I can be more free to really get rid of any other negativity I have left, start to love and fulfill the love your neighbor as yourself, really love, and that will bring about unity between people. We're going to close the gap. Now that the gap's getting closed, amazing, that's it. So we can try this on groups and communities. This is something that can bring about peace. Rabbi Arish has an article. Thank God for Rabbi Arish. I don't know what we'd do without him. It's a gift to the world. Where he teaches that Aaron the Kohen, how would he make peace between people? He would go to one party and convince them, your friend really wants to make peace with you. Oh. And then go back to the other guy and say, your friend over there wants to make peace with you. They both would think the other one to make peace with them. Then they would make peace, and he was considered the great peacemaker. But with this in mind, Rabbi Arish points out, he says it like this, that a person, this teaches us, is a translation, that peace is impossible if each side doubts the other's goodwill. Thoughts like he hates me or doesn't care block reconciliation. The first step then is restoring the belief that the other still cares and wants peace. When someone no longer believes the other loved them, they often lose hope and resist the process. So our own bypass that process. So when we're able to bypass our own resentments and find goodwill for the other, that goodwill will be perceived by the other and peace will come. What's really amazing is that it's going to bring piece by piece people together, and we heal the world from its brokenness. And it's so important. We can't get dragged down by the negativities happening around us. Part of our challenge right now is to be fiercely committed to breaking through negativity and finding joy and putting the fun back in dysfunctional, the joy back into the difficult, and bringing good energy to things that have horrible energy. And that will be a healing and a detox potion for ourselves and the world. I hope these were helpful ideas to you. I'm wishing you a lot of success in all your endeavors. And if you feel this was unclear, and it probably was in a few different ways, please ask questions. I can send you sources or articles as would be helpful for your growth process. Good Mood Coach, Mood Therapy, over and out.